Cymbals?
Cymbals, I don't know. I know drums. Tearjerker.
उसका आता है
How's it going? See you too. Oh, you came from. Yeah, wow.
Dude, I did. Beverly told me about the event, and I had some miles. It was a big trip.
That's a long trip.
It was a red eye.
I mean, I flew from Portland many times here, so.
Okay.
Or multiple times in the last year. So.
Yeah. It's my first time ever.
Oh, really?
It's kind of cool.
Where? Oh, I just saw you in Asheville. Okay.
Yeah, let's see.
Right, I was like, weren't you just? Oh, no.
Yeah, I was excited to see Virginia, but she was saying you were talking to her about transit this time, so it's nice to see you. I miss Virginia. It's really nice to see her.
No Virginia this time.
You're in Florida.
Yeah.
She's
back up. She's back now, no problem. No, I
I was watching
Yeah, maybe here.
staying here as the first group at the retreatments. I want to ask you something. It's really cool. Seeing the
I don't know here. Actually, you can produce.
It's kind of interesting.
Oh, that's the river. Yeah. Pale, right? Pale. Pale. That's pale. So to change, which location? I'm not much work in this area.
I think maybe it's not here. Maybe it's
You I'm not a hot water is fine too. Either way, whatever it does.
leave it like that?
Oh, thank you.
Я обращу внимание, короче, я зашла как-то не так, как ты мне что-то там делал. Зашла, как они сейчас скинули ссылку, типа на YouTube, там тоже у меня все вообще почему-то темным. А это вот самое первое, что ты мне скинул, получается, я как-то подключилась. Ну, буду смотреть.
Выключите микрофон. Кто разговаривает в эфире?
Есть нужда переводить.
Hello, we should not be able to hear the Russian interpretation. Somebody please mute. You're muted.
Good morning, everyone. In your prayer book, turn to page 1 and we'll begin. All mothers, sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness, may they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Buddhahood. Dog, log, dog, varje, pega, no parje, pege, darba, dan, dan, jege, ardu, jo, parje, pa, tam, jeki, so, jepe, manam, gana, Nampe Sem Chen Tam Che De War Dang Du Dao Dan Nu Du La Na Me Pa Ya Da Pa Su Pe Chan Chu Ren She Do Pa Cha. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. All sentient beings, limitless as the sky, take refuge in the glorious, kind Lama Vajradhara, the embodiment of the body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities of the Buddhas of the 10 directions and the 3 times, source of the 84,000 categories of the teaching, and Lord of the Sanghas. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the Idams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Tata Nyampe Semchen Tamche Chochu Du Somgi Deshe Shekpa Tam Cheki Ku Sur Duk Yonten Trinle Tam Cheki No War Kyurpa Choki Pongpo Tongda Yashu Sashi Tone Pakpe Gendu Tam Cheki Nata Drenche Sawada Kyupar Chepe Balde Lama Dampa Damla Kyapsu Jeho Yedan Kilpur Kilakso Namla Kyapsu Jeho Sangye Chomden De Namla Kyapsu Jeho Dampe Chu Namla Kyapsu Jeho Pakpe Gender Namla Kyapsu Jeho Pawo Kandro Jokyo Somme So Yeshe Kitchen Dempa Namla Kyapsu Jeho. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Chanchu Dingpo Jikiba Sangye Namla Kyapsu Je Chodan Chanchu Sempaye Sogliang Deshin Gyapsuji, Jetar Gonge Deshenki, Changchu Turde Kepada, Changchu Sembe La Pala, Deda Rinshe Nepada, Dejen Drola Pendondu, Changchu Sendi Kegeshe, Dejen Durni La Pala, Rimpa Sindu La Pargi. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Pe Chodar Soki Choknam La Changchu Bardu Dagni Kyapsuji Dagi Jinso Ki Pe Sonam Ki Drola Pinjir Sangye Druparsho. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Namka da nyampe senchen tamche dewa dan dewe gyu dan denpa gyurche duk nyal dan duk nyal ki gyu dan drawar gyurche duk nyal me pe dewa dan me drawar gyurche Nirin Jakta Nidan Tonyom La Depa Gyurje.
Если можно во
Refuge
время
of
молитвы
all
выделить
sentient beings without exception, divine subjugator of terrifying Maras together with their hosts of demons, the one who understands all realities without exception exactly as they are, transcendent conqueror, together with your disciples, please come here to this place. Malu Sankhya Kongi Kongyorjin Dude Ponche Mise Chomse La Nona Malu Jishen Gengyorpe Jamden Korche Neder Shek Suso Argam Pegen Bushpe Dupe Aloke Gande Newite Shabda Pratitsa Soha. The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the supreme mountain, the 4 continents, and the sun and moon. As a Buddha field, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offering, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Sashe Bosho Joshe Metoja Rirabling Se Nite Genpadi Sangye Shingla Mitte Puwahi Droka Nanda Shindu Kewarshu Chaksa Wada Jokjin Shakpada Jesu Yiran Koshin Sowayi Gewa Shunse Dagi Jizakpa Tabje Sope Shanchu Chinu. Okay, and then to page 11. Namo, to the Lama of utterly pure appearance and existence, I offer the fundamental ground of appearance and existence. I supplicate you to thoroughly liberate the three realms. Please grant your blessings and overturn the depths of samsara. Sublime Master, wish-fulfilling jewel, crown ornament, the inconceivable, inexpressible mind of the victorious ones, the one endowed with the five wisdoms of omniscience. Gracious one, the embodiment of love, precious protector of beings, I supplicate you from within the essence of mind. Please grant your blessings from within the innate nature. Please bless me that I may realize the Dharmakaya that is beyond intellect, this primordially unborn, completely pure mind. Transcendent conqueror, the one thus gone, foe destroyer of afflictive emotions, completely perfected Buddha, endowed with logic and virtue, the one gone to bliss, knower of the world, captain, tamer of beings, the unexcelled teacher of gods and men. I respectfully prostrate, completely touching my head to the stainless feet of the unequaled Shakya king. At the time of your birth, leader of two-legged beings, taking 7 steps on this great earth, you proclaimed, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise even then, I prostrate. Possessing a body of complete purity, your sublime form is excellent. An ocean of primordial wisdom, you are like a golden mountain, the one whose renown is evident throughout the 3 worlds, protector of supreme attainment, to you I prostrate. To you who are endowed with the supreme marks, whose face is like an immaculate moon, to you, the one with a complexion like gold, I prostrate. A flawless one such as you among the 3 levels of existence is most exquisite. Unparalleled omniscient one, to you I prostrate. Supreme among humans, captain of those to be tamed, the one thus gone who severs the all-binding fetters, who with senses pacified is utterly pacified and skilled in peace. To that one, the one who dwelled at Shravasti, I prostrate. Refuge endowed with great compassion, totally omniscient one who indicates the way, ground basis for oceans of merit and qualities, I prostrate to the one thus gone. Pure cause free from attachments, the virtue that liberates from the lower realms, the altogether supreme ultimate truth, to the pacifying Dharma I prostrate. Having been liberated, they also reveal the path to liberation. Thoroughly respectful of the 3 higher trainings, they are a field of sublime qualities. To the Sangha, I also prostrate. And back to page 9. Nangse Sandagye Lama Nangse Sheksu Chogu Kamson Yodu Duso Aden Korwa Duktur Jinjilo Jeye Shen Norbu Soki Kem Masa Jome Yahweh Tok Yeshe Nadande Taiwe Dagni Kadrin Shem Drove Joseph Rinpoche Tatsemni Kinad Nisovade Joni Kinad Durjinjilo Sandune Kime Dandake Dade Chokor Topar Jinjilo Dende Deshin Chekpa Drachompa Yandapar Sope Sangye Repa Dan Chapsu Denpa Dewar Shekpa Jikden Genpa Gebu Dua Kalau Gyurwa Lana Mepa Ladan Minam Yamki Point Apo Siami Juga Gerupe Chaksalo Nangse To Chotamse Sache De La Compa Gunworne Nene Kende Gajo Son Kese Kepa Jela Chaksalo Namda Kuda Chotu Sosangwa Yeshe Yaso Serge Longboja Drapa Jekten Sona Lanewa Gombo Jone Kila Chaksalo Centro Denpa Grine Dawe Sebo Drawa Kila Chaksalo Dodra Jodra Jepa Somnaze Nyame Kenchen Kila Chaksalo Mecho Duwa Kalo Dodreje Gojo Jinwa Jobse Jinchin One boy, Sichin, Yese, Selake, Genyo, Shopa, De La, Chaksalo, Gompo, Dorje, Chendenpa, Tache, Genpa, Tompapo, Sonam, Yonten, Yatsoze, Jekla, Chaksalo, Dake Joja Draweju Gewe Genson De Droshin Jitu Dondan Jojurba Sekyur Jola Chaksalo Drone Drove Lamyantum Lapa Kagla Ratugu Sinji Domba Yontenjin Gedo Daya Chaksalo. And onward to page 15. I prostrate to the youthful Manjusri, to those in the worlds of the 10 directions, however many there are, all the lions among humans who appeared during the 3 times. To all of them, without exception, I pay homage with respectful body, speech, and mind. The force of my aspiration prayer for excellent conduct brings all the victorious ones directly to mind. Bowing down with bodies as numerous as atoms in the realms, I prostrate to all the victorious ones. In a single atom there are Buddhas as numerous as atoms, each residing in the midst of their sons and daughters. Like that, I imagine the whole Dharmadhatu completely filled with victorious ones. To those with oceans of inexhaustible, praiseworthy qualities, with sounds containing oceans of tones of melodic speech, I express the qualities of all the victorious ones. I praise all the Sugatas. With the finest flowers, the finest garlands, music, ointments, supreme parasols, supreme lamps, and the finest incense, I make offerings to the victorious ones. with the finest cloths, supreme scents, and fine powders equal to Mount Meru, all displayed in supreme and magnificent ways, I make offerings to those victorious ones. With vast and unsurpassable offerings, I venerate all the victorious ones. Through the power of faith and excellent conduct, I prostrate and offer to the victorious ones. Whatever negative actions I have performed with body, speech, and also mind, overpowered by aggression and stupidity, I confess each and every one of them. I rejoice in everyone's merit, the victorious ones of the 10 directions, the bodhisattvas, the pratyeka Buddhas, those in training, those beyond training, and all beings. I request the protectors, the lamps of the worlds of the 10 directions, who passing through the stages of awakening, attain Buddhahood beyond attachment, to turn the unsurpassable Dharma wheel. I supplicate with my palms joined together, those who intend to demonstrate nirvana, to remain for kalpas as numerous as atoms in the realms, for the welfare and happiness of all beings. I dedicate whatever slight virtue is accumulated through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and supplicating to enlightenment. 16. To page 16. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the 2 vehicles and their combination according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings. Samched Namki Sampada Loye Jedra Jetawa Jecho Tongmon Tekpayi Choke Koro Gordu So.
Good morning. Thank you for coming. Today, that train, so today, Dorje Simba, start dig dep, Jongchi ke, today, Dorje Simbe ke, ta, Gomde se ajiorwa, that Hindu.
So then, today we are beginning a teaching that is on Vajrasattva, the practice of Vajrasattva, the indestructible hero. That is a practice that is done to purify our negative deeds and obscurations. And so there is the meditation and recitation of Vajrasattva for this. So then, in order to practice Vajrasattva, then in general, in the secret mantra is taught that one should have the empowerment and also the reading transmissions and so forth to do the practice.
근데 근데 당가서 단다 딕뎁 탁치 durjesimbe gumde 지디 당복거랑데 그 갈세나 탁주규주 가진 타고 그래서 배는가 쏟아 둘러로 다 둘러서나 이러면은 디시 가리나테 unclean 인데 되네 당가서 와시치고도 슬라우거리 김생 갈세나 되네 그 자마히라 메발은 가서 두고요. 되나 이게 당가서 담보디 그 갈두고요래. 와 두자코랑 가레스. 드니지 모신 거야 돼. 개침보레스.
So for this practice of Vajrasattva, we are purifying our negative deeds and obscurations. And the question, though, is what are we washing? What are we purifying? In general, if we talk about washing or cleaning something, if we wash our clothes, it's because our clothes are dirty, or maybe our dishes, are dirty, so we wash our dishes. And so we have this process of washing, purifying, and so forth. And so here in this practice, knowing what we are washing, cleansing, purifying, this is important to recognize.
어디 인도 땅가서 가르준 거였으나 땅가서 게 다하고 거야 돼 레세야지 거다 레와 가서다 레라 그 상보 요래 레녜바 요래 레 상보 당 녜바 세야지 그 메인 칸에 딱 요래 휴위나 되네 그 지게벨레라 지레 상보 말면 레 상보 당 녜바 세야기 메인 칸에 토르스나 지금 가서 드리브텔라 되네 지 대진 중화텔라 레 상보함 레 게와 드리브텔라 되네 지 땅가 속강에 연구요나 텔라 되네 레 녜바 세야오다 레 세야 차디요레스.
So, how do we understand this? Well, there is what is called karma, our actions and their fruition. And so, when we look at karma, there is like good action, there's good karma, good action, good propensity, and then also negative actions and negative propensities. And so, we talk about these in terms of virtue and non-virtue. And importantly, we understand that when we engage in negative actions, the fruition of this is to experience suffering and problems. And when we engage in positive actions, virtue, then the fruition of this is happiness.
So first, I think maybe we're talking about a little bit before the empowerment, so morning session, maybe everybody mind is much sharper, So that's why we can maybe, I can say easier, because so maybe you guys get a little bit clear, So that's why I think a little bit talking about morning and then afternoon. So then we have pretty good to give the empowerment, So you already samadhi, no concept. So then maybe you got 100%, received empowerment. Otherwise, right now it's maybe too much thinking, So then maybe difficult to get or receive empowerment. So that's just joking. So anyway, so we, a little bit morning, talking about or karma and so on. So what I do, that lays here today. That later some no jitango great. Later la carriore slavina laying nepa say yours laying I don't know English. Laying nepa.
Nyepasana?
Nyepasana, definitely. po
Oh,
pare.
ngepa.
Ngepa.
Tenten,
Yes.
ngenu.
Le tinije yoris.
So, when we think about karma and contemplate karma, we should understand that karma, our actions and their fruition, are something that is certain. It is definitive. Actions have results.
Tene ta le chek te kharsena le chibala chu mezawas. Hakodo le chi na kundi ta mingris. Teyang ko definitely.
So when we engage in a particular activity, then it will definitely ripen into a fruition. This is not something that can, this definitely happens.
Tene maji pala mentri zone. Lesa mina kundi yung marwa machiyo maris ndi yung maris.
So then if you haven't engaged in a specific activity, then that fruition will not arise.
Tene ta letela pendo gres. Lesa shawat.
So the karma propels that fruition. It creates that situation.
Increasing, right?
Or it
increase. Le pendo gres.
So karma increases.
Ya le ta le ne hiyo wa le te yang le chung chung sa hiyo na compindo gres. Pendo gres increasing. Tienduda le ngepa se atrawa tambo back to tana tida ko contents dorowa le ngepa se ate kare shuinata samin chengirwa benanga so le tela karsanda namba sanji bi chu tela karsana terida so lende te zachin borwa lende tang tender tang tiniji yore tindu lende te yang karsana ji meje ki decision chi xia jo ma yin ba ro bena sanji jumden den ro je ke korang ke koji ta ka na ne ji so xia jo ma yin ba ko karsana ta telau do nga so natural law ko rangi ke le rangi is.
So when we talk about how karma means action, but it's kind of in this context of Tibetan Buddhism, it's like cause and effect, actions and their effects. So karma is said to be certain or definitive. And so in the tradition of Buddhism, in the Buddha Dharma, teachings on actions and their effects are very sacred. They are cherished. Also, there's teachings on the interdependence of different things, of everything. These are also sacred teachings. And these teachings are not just something that are taught by a person. It's not just a personal philosophy that the Buddha came up with, and he decided that actions would have certain effects. It's not just the Buddha's idea thinking, oh, these actions should have these effects and so forth. That is not how things work. Karma and their effects, karma, cause and effect, is something that is the law of how things naturally are. It is a teaching that explains what happens in the universe.
어디인데다 가장 저 눈다고 말라래. 무슨 세력당. 전에 지 남바 상지님 보디 고직다 통자 최중라 마토베게 그 고지 로탕로지 지바지 차디거레스.
So something that is observed in the traditions of science as well as in the teachings of the Buddhist scriptures is that what we see and observe has similar patterns on a macro, like very vast level, and on a very micro, like very small level as well. And so this has been observed by science and also in the Buddhist teachings.
But science every time discovering how this dog is.
So in science, for example, every time this is discovered again,
or new discover or something.
This is revealed again and again as they study things.
Through the practicing, through the meditation, that the nature true tamji nelo chetawa hindu. Or that rangi nature de sanji tobaris.
So the Buddha, the Buddha, Buddha Bhagavan discovered this in his own realization. And so through seeing the nature of how things naturally are, seeing the nature of all reality, then the Buddha discovered how things truly exist. And so this is the same, this way of realizing the nature of things is not just his concept, but it is seeing how things truly are.
Okay. That back to that karma. That karma tangi tangboden gaso lengyepa slauro lengyepa.
So going back to karma, then we have the certainty of karma.
Benangaso hakugdua be tomato tamna ko tomato jeare matyo beke ko cabbage indoji jiungmarwa konre tamna rejeare matyo beke ko karsena ji ndo tono tene jigmendowa o tenna shimbeke ngazoke individually ko leji samboji sahyona ti ken rewete bena sambosen tangila imba legewa sahyona tin rewe yang dechi jungya ta tega na yi ke jig le jig megewa bena cha hyawina ji controller so ba kuna lang hyawe ke leji sahyona tin rewete yang ko kangi ote jungya tela ko le ngepa cha de yores.
So, karma is something that is certain. The actions have results, particular results. For example, if you plant a tomato seed, you're not going to get a cabbage. Tomato seeds create tomatoes. The same way, if you plant rice, then you're not going to get, corn on the cob and barley and so forth, wheat. It's going to be rice. And so in the same way, when we engage in virtuous actions, those virtuous actions will lead to happiness and pleasant situations. When we engage in non-virtuous actions, when we give rise to afflictive emotions like anger, anger is not going to result in some wonderful thing. When we have anger and hatred, this brings about problems, the fruition of problems and suffering.
What are the leg nebas here? Tatene le maji pala minti bas or imba le maji pala minti bas. Tiabo, le Chemina, Divin Jungo Maris, Yada. Tii Tanga Suchi Gavanda Wuji Madub Nerva. Yamata did Peshan and Tigri. Le Majiwa Jigla, Penanga Tindindo Jirwa. Lobdena, Lobju Yabo Chimina, or Yixita, Yapo Togre, some Yomari, exam, Togmarwa, Kotambo Lubjon Kan Chimea, Lubjon Magina, Togmarwa. Tigana Yike, Natuji Gavaji drop me in a young. Ta peche maung ban drip to the yapo chungre sambandao, Rwa. Ta peche men drink to gre sambandao. Ching drivitilla, chingata, maung bala deva jungre and Tindi Zama Yomar is Karsina could Juza Yomarwa and Divium Mar, Benanga Shingando in a Tinidoa. Shingaji Chia Matavache, Tene Sani Bedata, Chig Trot and Jelas of Yapo Chiegrisam, Kochig Marwa, Chig Maris. Majiwala mentis, that Majiwala mentis.
So karma is such that if there is not a cause, a basis, then you will not experience and meet with the fruition. And so if you haven't done virtuous things, you won't meet with the fruition of such virtuous things. If you haven't done non-virtuous things, then you won't meet with the fruition of non-virtuous things. And so, for example, if we haven't engaged in virtuous things, we can look at the situation if we are students studying in school. So if we haven't studied at all for an exam ever, and we haven't learned the material ever that's going to be on an exam or a test, then when it comes time to take the test, if we haven't learned that material, there's no way we're going to know the answers. And so in the same way, some people might think, well, I haven't engaged in, virtue, but maybe down the road, some good things are going to happen. I got a feeling that, just maybe some nice things are going to happen. But if we haven't engaged previously in virtue, then those positive situations will not arise. For example, if we have a field, but we haven't planted it with like corn or rice and so forth, if we haven't put the seed in the ground, then later there's not going to be any harvest. You're not going to have a field of corn unless you grow the corn first.
All right, so that's probably very easy to understand, right? So we want, nice smell or nice food, So in order to use good food, have to buy, have to cook. So then you get the result, what you wish. But your imagination, maybe I don't want to buy this store, expensive. I don't want to cook, But probably I got the, delicious meal. What you get, And also, same thing, so my house, I want to really clean and nice, really beauty, but you have to make yourself, you really clean up, You make arrangements very nice. Then yes, you can become nice, clean. But you only wish, I want to this one, I want to this one, I want this one, I want to this one. We're thinking, right? Everybody thinking, I want this one. Also this day we can look this day in the poem, internet. Yeah, that's very pretty, yeah. But you're not doing anything, you're not cleaning up, nothing happens. So that's actually, sometimes with this, I think Dharma practice really way of the life, so how work functioning, So sometimes, maybe there's specials come, just this is just Dharma, no related in the worldly sense. No. So if you worldly sense, good work, you can practice Dharma good, you will. So that it. Da hug the cars, anybody cars, somebody there was a third one is Tana. That cheaper like you, Miss Asson. Che Shajo in a young. Couldn't even go on the younger day, like what.
So, once we have engaged in karma, then we can't change it.
The tang as open, the partner which is son of the code and the young age, Mare, no, some yomaris, sataris.
So, for example, we might do something bad and non-virtuous, and we think, well, maybe this time I'll get away with it, and maybe there won't be a problem.
What that in do in that yomaris. In that you better give it the partner winner, so Janga or Majawala, or Tape Young this time, or that is thing my jing in the KO Mare, and there was some young David that I mean, Gage Mare, there was some young rotten, yes, Maris.
So it doesn't work that way. While it is the case that if we have done non-virtuous things, we can purify those things. That is an option. But a lot of people have this type of thinking when they've done something bad and negative. They think, well, sometimes you can get away with things. Maybe I can get away with it a time or two, few times. It doesn't work that way.
Oh, that in do Tiganayitaji, oh, copet nada, Tajing Bachas on this, Sanyamanga Marita, Petchet Dawes on your service, Samia Yomaris. And he become all the clothing like that. To lot of the Nimacha, in a later, low moment on the zone, Yomaris.
So some people might think too, like, well, if enough time goes by, then, and there's, no, negative consequence, then maybe I got away with it. And we think, kind of like if you wear a piece of clothes, like say you have like a shirt and you wear it enough, eventually it wears into nothing. You wear your, clothes away. We might think karma is like that, but it's not.
What is Ungdoa, Tenere, Luchengunji, Ledamne, Carwaton to Sonaya, Sojing to La Habana, Driving it Umban yours, Bena Carwangam Malatine, Carwaton Rangola, the Pajisashi Yona, Rawa. Tila, Gateniji, or that, Teniza Hyona, Kojik Dipachung, in the Ko Tandarami Matomna, Maumba, let me young grace, Sojing Tula Habinas, the condition, Tiendo, the Tibina, then Mingris, the Meva Chandra, Yomaris, but the Pachung Imina.
So, there in the scriptures.
Beginning though, in that Meveso, Yorota, pitch at the Dipa, your summary, someone of yours.
So we might think that, maybe sometimes, the fruition of negative karma sometimes doesn't happen. However, as taught in the scriptures, that for, beings, even negative actions that have taken place thousands of eons in the past, no matter how small, when you meet with the right causes and conditions and circumstances, then that karma will ripen and you will experience the fruition of even the smallest actions, no matter how long ago. So thinking that sometimes we get away with negative actions without consequence it doesn't work that way.
So it is like the bird fly in high sky. Do you understand? Huh? Okay. Right. So then? Right. But then?
Then it comes down and roosts on the ground or on the tree. The shadow appears.
Right. So they said karma, so bodies really fly, this high sky. So we get ground, they cannot see this shadow, But shadow is not completely gone. So the bird lands, the conditions, and then they're happening. So today that le tamade not so late increasing. That is gively na increasing chagre, megelevi na increasing chagre, yes.
So then, as we do actions, they increase, and the power of those increases and grows. If we do virtuous actions, then the power of virtuous actions increase. If we do non-virtuous actions, then the power of non-virtue increases.
I think there's two ways. Sometimes we make purpose, we make increasing, right? And one is naturally increasing, even though you didn't increasing. So I think the one we increasing, so first, or maybe or problems or anger, Suddenly something situation you get angry. So that's actually that time small. But then we purpose, sort of like focus increasing. Oh, I angry and this and that, and then just make, I said, individually increase, So this is another way. And other ways, inatini ko jik, tindi maina ko kontro tingma jik lang dewati, tijil kontro malang bi ina yang, ko korang tindi sha na, yakpa majina, tindi ko increasing channel base.
So then, the second way is that, say we get angry, but if we really don't confess and try to, purify that anger, then even though we might not, notice, still in the future, that anger increases.
What the na ya gewa tini des, gewa nga su gewa tini, gewa chung ji sa hiyo na yang ti ko gewa tila, je kondro la soba tini lang me vi na, ko gewa yang increase cha lo gyo des, pena cha jik tse vi na, ti tse hiyak jo tila, ko increase cha gyo de, o mani pe me hong tingma che ma so tong me vi na yang, ko ti top ti ke, tini sa jik gyo de. Pena nga su te pensong hiyo gyo wa, jumsen kar se na, tanda tini song do wa, manu, o mani pe me hong manu ki penyon, yorwa manu peyona la tene chora ji manu tsari tombi na yang jitang te zongre to tate la gum do te ben man tsari tombi na yang tene chora sanji gre zongre jumsen kare sen tandaran sanji gre la gu marwa yina yang ngong ba la ti ki juchi ne chora sanji gre so kharjin juchi gor se na ko increase mambo cha yorwa Ti jumsendale dene, ti nubaji lep chini majina ko sanje gres, gevechoana teneres.
So, on the other hand, virtue also works this way too. And so, if we do any virtuous action, it can have a very profound effect in the sense that it can, lead to the increase of virtue. If we do a single prostration, if we do a single Mani mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, for example, when they talk about the benefits of reciting the Mani mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, even a single mantra can lead eventually to Buddhahood. So how is that? Is you just say Om Mani Padme Hum and then you're like, I'm ready. It doesn't quite lead to Buddhahood instantly. However, through saying the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, then in the future, on the basis of that cause, that single action, this can lead to an increase of virtue. And over time, through increasing our virtue, then eventually we get to the state of Buddhahood. So it all can start with a single Mani mantra.
So that that lay shit hakosongs, lay shit, can this lay siada, Jechina could could take manda mato that some mejetan, hakugi orwa, lay chi, lay Karsena, lay near pasta. Tigana yeke, Chibala Yaju Mizawa, Majibala, Minjongwa, Tene increasing Seatita de Tolhiano.
So then, in this way, you can understand how karma works, and it's being presented in a few different ways. For example, how karma has karma cause and effect is the kind of certain way of how things are, how we cannot change the fruitions of actions, have specific fruitions that we cannot change, but then also actions, they increase the propensity for fruitions and so forth. So in this way, there's many different perspectives on karma, and so hopefully this can lead to a greater understanding of how karma, our actions and their effects work.
Right, just 4 things, like 14. 4.
So there's 4 things here. The tambo.
So 4 things. So tambo tela le ngepas.
Ngepa. Mm-hmm.
So this what is?
So the first is the certainty of karma.
Certainty, whatever. Okay. And then the nipa tela majipala mantis chemena deuyungamaris.
So then the second aspect of karma is that you will not meet with the fruitions that you have not, created the causes for.
Right, majipala. Kanta yang chonada lekasa amena deuyungumare la wala.
Mm-hmm. So if you have not accumulated the karma, then you will not experience the fruition or result.
Tine chibala ju mezas, tacho leje sasha yuna, naturally me ochano yomaris.
So then the third is that once you have done something, then you cannot, change it. You will experience the fruition.
Tene that hamade givele inare, dipele inare, chunjungi sahuna increases chagres.
So then the fourth is that even just a small virtuous or non-virtuous action leads to the increase of karma.
So do you have some questions or comments? Or you got everything? Or you got everything?
We can purify the karma like in the present moment, like like, 'cause I heard sometime that the mind is like the water. It just fluid. So we can just like purify the mind or the karma, like in the present moment, like the nature of the mind or something like that.
Re ta jetang te zong le dikpa la zong le dikpa la yon ten yo ma res yin na yang ti na le yon ten jig yo res o te la dikpa ya na ko tang du yo res
So there's a saying that negative deeds have no qualities.
or good qualities.
Negative deeds have no good qualities. Yeah, sorry. In English, the word for Tibetan,
Yeah, I don't know.
yonten, only means good qualities. But in English, qualities can mean bad qualities. So negative deeds have no good qualities. However, there is one good quality. And the quality of negative deeds is that if you confess and really, seek to, confess and let it go, then you can purify. They can be purified.
Tin ta tanda nga tsuti thambol labya te let ngosem gu yorwa. Ta ti thama tinge second subject ta khandi chin let changre se ya te hya hins.
So then,
Thambo nga tsu labya ji wa.
nguzin.
Te karsana ta nga tsu le ngosem gwa khandi chigre le kon functioning karma cause effect lab gu yorwa. Ta ti hugla second subject de khala ya isana nga tsu le khandi jangu gre khandi chandu gre se hya hins.
So, in terms of the topic for today, first, the whole subject that we've been discussing is recognizing karma, cause and effect. And so then the second topic, then, once we understand, karma, cause and effect, how like virtue and non-virtue work, then the second is how we can purify our karma. So that's the second subject.
Right. So do you have something, questions for subject about Likabet? Oh.
I've been told before, good morning, sorry for being late, as usual. I've been told before that in contrast with the Judeo-Christianity beliefs, Buddhas do not, wipe us out of any karma, We have to work, to change our own karma. However, I have always wondered how that happens, if it is my merit, it's karma is my merit and I have done something wrong. How does it work that with the help with the Buddha, I purify it? For example, Milarepa, that he killed so many people. And then that story has stuck in my mind, how his Lama, put him through a lot of, difficulties to help him purify that karma. And he eventually, in the same life, got enlightened. So that's really like a great story of hope. And still, I'm getting super stuck in my own mental afflictions. So how does that work, that a Buddha helps me purify my own negative deeds and mental afflictions?
So
Jesus dies for our sins, and Marpa beat Milarepa for his sins, right? No, but you're talking about in Christianity. One of the views of Christianity is that Jesus purifies. The Yeshu kitawa chik, chasama pachimara. Yene Yeshu kitawa champo chik. Mambu yore. The Yeshua kon shiki kabla kon misama ki dikpa kon la membares ane kon misama ki dikpa daksons ane namba ki luksu la marpa tam milarepa yore marpa de milarepa la kangar drea la tene milarepa ki de kimsong ki sea ki dikpa dakson de drabo ane so de sanjeso ngaso kandres ropache giore de dikpa ki kola
Reda benachashana Jesus ke kalagorsena ji koran ke tanangaso bodhisattva dowa tukchi koran ke dunge yoga tele de nge dikpa tamji semchen tamji ki dikpa thahos nga kangen yang batanda 장조 심베케 다 요바 그소치도 지 나게 요나레 사게 요나레 지 간데 요나오다티 오 드링가 나야들라 심전 탐지 kod나서 차원도 쇼 선바당 되네 다가 해야이나 오다 게 드링 히도 지 로 심전 탐지 히베게 등에 시호 선바도 되네 고 툭치 코랑 되네 유스그레스 유스그레스나 요레스
So, so here, really, Jesus is a bodhisattva. And so, having the aspiration at the time of death, and in the story of Jesus, that, Jesus took on all the, negative deeds of all the people, and made the prayer, may, through my death, may, everyone be free of all their sins. That's a bodhisattva action. And in the tradition of Buddhism, there, in the bodhisattva teachings, whenever we are sick, whenever we, suffer, whenever we experience pain, or even the suffering of the time of death, bodhisattvas take that. And part of the mind training and part of the bodhisattva's practice is to say, through this suffering of sickness, through this suffering of, pain or the suffering of death, may all beings be free from sickness, pain, and the suffering of death. And through that, the power, the energy of the compassion of the bodhisattvas, there is a blessing, and they can, help beings be free of suffering. There is a blessing power there.
어떤데 이미 좀 센들에 되네. 고 강나 강상 펜토그레스. This pentogres 심지 힘받아.
So this has benefit for other beings when bodhisattvas make these prayers.
이나양 든디를 때네 배나 상제 샤자토 바코나 상지버레스. 와 코랑 몰라.
So, however, the Buddha, Shakyamuni, became enlightened, reached full Buddhahood.
That way, 티 이나양다 티지부 근디그레베세나 리아요 마리스.
So the Buddha Shakyamuni attained Buddhahood through such aspirations and prayers. However, is this enough to, free all beings from suffering once and for all? For the Buddhas just to do that, and bodhisattvas? No.
티인데 reason와 reason 가리스나 individual 코랑 경우네 레망보지 싸샤요레스.
So the reason is that individuals have their very complex karma of all different types of actions that they have accumulated.
Tindi indu tezongbore individual ngone tene sanjele teba chigi yonare changjo sembala teba chigi yonare chikta Jesus teba chigi yonare teba da ije tindi ki gone deba jang individual jango kres.
So the individuals that, for example, though, have faith and devotion towards the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, if they have, true, faith, devotion, and confidence, then those individuals, through their connection with the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, that can actually purify all their negative deeds.
Otherwise, Sanjay ke chik nga so chirang so chik chakman ro jap chi pe tsangma son ro ya ro lakpe ki chik si ne tini dowe dungi chak si mene zong do chorang so karma nga so tsangma ta nge tsangma son ro so togu ma re zong Sanjay ke.
But on the other hand, the Buddhas can't just, do our work for us. The Buddhas can't just say, "Oh, it's okay. I'll purify your karma. I got it." No. It's on me. I got it this time. And then it doesn't work that way. We have to do the work for ourselves.
Right? Yes, of course, interconnected. Buddha's blessings, so on. But meantime, we have to individual confess. So that's you said this Milarepa, right? So Milarepa received teachings, paid instructions from the Marba's blessing, Buddha's blessing, tremendous. But same time, mainly he's working on whatever negative deeds he have to purify on. So same way that's this morning related to karma. So I said, so you said, oh, I want to, my house is clean, so I wish, maybe Buddhas may be cleaning up, or I don't think it's not work. Buddhas, they have 100%, the pure compassion, love, bodhicitta, but really it's the individual you get or not. So, like for example, I think maybe the best example is like blessings. It is like sunshine, But if you really close eyes, you cannot see the sun, but not for sun's fall, right? Sun. But individual falls, So you didn't look the sun. So something, working together,
Rinpoche, I had a question. So if an action is done with compassion, but maybe not so much love, so sometimes the person, can't give back at all, and I feel resentful. So it's hard for me to keep having compassion for the same person over and over again, and that person is definitely not capable of that with me, and it's a close relationship. So I hear these things about anger. Even a moment of anger destroys so much. So I can see anger destroys, the compassion and love in the moment. So do I keep trying, even though I know I will eventually make mistakes? I do regularly.
Everybody mistakes,
but
right?
the compassion is there. But the mistakes are right with the compassion.
Yeah, the compassion is great, So also that te yorwa nga so tesam tango gorista nga so gambo ba ke tanda kare lamjoren chen tme na la Yang kodis karsegore the separation chigoya mamboji yores. Penacha shana kare.
Lamcho.
Lamcho rencentingwa rawa. Theravati gambobaki yonam essence. John liberation terabutarchen lamcho rencentingwa.
Oh.
O da titi karsete zondo takorombochi. Konreke karzonsina. Chiranso takorombochi je gosare takorombochi za chimbore ndoji samguyuna. Takon takorombochi da kombazo ya yo marwa. Yina yang chiranso ke ji taku tarchen tang lamcho renchen chingbo dabina tene nga topo chebayo maris.
Nga tupa.
Chebayo maris. Nga topo sa ko. Oda tina na kalabi ores lavina. Karsega de distribution kari yorsena nga soji theore Tebatan doba se atini puto karsena yawaji chegu yores. Tebatan doba rawa. Teba ina peda yabo rawa. Tene tereda peche tin sauda ningje tang kare Tebatan doba ningje tang tene 직 착화니 뭐 논로야 tene yores. 파다는 저거로 거라니고.
Depatang tupa. Drabo.
닝제당 착화. 뒤인도 제당 고 따뜻 졸라지 고 디야완로 디스카요레스.
So, first, Gampopa, the master Gampopa, the early Kagyu master Gampopa, he taught in his, jewel ornament of liberation, the precious garland of the supreme path, that, if you want to meet Gampopa, if you just pray, oh, may I, meet Gampopa, it's not necessarily going to happen. You can't just meet Gampopa. However, if you have faith in these words in the jewel ornament of liberation, then it's no different than meeting him directly. And so there is a difference between faith and devotion and desire, our wants and our desires. Sometimes they're similar, but they can be a little confusing. Also, we can mix up, having compassion for others with a certain level of attachment. And so some of these things can be similar, but they're not always exactly, the same.
And also this so another thing is we progress, So I said we are thinking, oh, I'm perfect, so I don't think so. Every bit, So if you wish maybe no mistakes, right? But there's no way, So that's also reason, I said always, reason why we practice, right? Why you are coming here, really interesting Dharma, whatever. So this your Dharma practice, something not making money, not your living. But we are Dharma practice we have to something change. We mistakes, that's why we practice, right? So that's why we purify, you know. So if you're really perfect, look like everybody and the Buddha, you know, no mistakes, then no need to practice. You're not here, you know. So just we said, like, not really no need to pay attention to anything than the Dharma or practice. You just beyond. So we said also there's no necessary. They said if you use the boat, cross the river, in order to you cross the river, you have to have it very important. You have to have a boat, you know. So that's it. So we have like mistakes, we necessary to Dharma practice. It is like boat. So we mistakes, you know. So we want to change. But then we cross the river, we no need carrying the boat, you know. Harder. Already you passed the river, already crossed the river. That's it, done, you know. And then you really no need to pay attention. I said beyond practice, you know. So we are Buddhahood, you know. So yes, of course, we thinking, you know, so we this world, you know, we born in samsara. Why we born in samsara? There are mistakes, there are negatives. That's why you're born here. But otherwise, maybe different realms. I don't know what they're saying. I know if I didn't see, but something pure realms. I don't know. This is Amitabha's pure land, and this and that. This is the millions pure land. So maybe they are all, you know. But we are not really pure land here. So not too bad, but still there's a lot of issues, you know. So that's okay, you know. So that's a kind of like we are learning. So actually, really is that this is a very special thing is Dharma practice. That can change, you know, sooner or later. So we have faith, we have devotion, we interest in the practice. That's where we will change. We will achieve enlightenment, you know, but this moment, so we have still, you know, affect emotions, everyone. So ta karsena terawa ta dikpa tende leji yores ta nga so le samta same hakore 4 powers no lagdo nga so dikpa yardu dikpa yaryala dikpa jaryatela tene ta top shi gona yagre sti labgo ta.
So now we have an idea about karma and, you know, negative karma and so forth. And so how do we purify negative karma? There are what are known as the 4 powers, and perhaps many of you know about these 4 powers. So then the first of these is the power of the support.
Ta tenji topte ta konramanda yosari ta ben tandanda kap sabala nga so dorje simbi gumden ro china dorje samba khoran yang tenji top cha de yores.
So then there are many different things that can function as the power of support. In this particular context of, you know, this weekend's empowerment and teachings and so forth, then the Vajrasattva meditation and recitation, in this particular context of this practice, Vajrasattva is the support.
Tiga na ji ke ta nga so ji thesung gre jeba se ya ji dang rang yi se ya ji ke nga so dikpan ro ji sag yo ro yin na chetan thi ni ko de ko main tak cho de ji ta kha yo re ma to ngone ji na ji separation da yo maris jebik kana ma to wa thang se ya ji da rang yi kana ma to wa ni yo ro ben jebik kana ma to se na nga so ji chegi men ro ji la ben nga so jam ro dom ba ro shun de ta nga so so jo gi me tini jik lagu yorwa pena chantong man roll na tini yang chantong tini china this rasana tini ko jik thambu jewa ne da this nge yorwa tini rangi san da jibare kom kisi tamja kanya kya me na ko chantong rasana dikwa da jibare ina ko men ka no ji yores.
So when it comes to negative deeds, then there are two different ways we can, look at them. Negative deeds, on one hand, are deeds that we do consciously, we would say, and then there are negative deeds that we just kind of do naturally, like negative deeds that we do with kind of an intention, or negative deeds that just kind of happen. And so, for example, if we have gone for refuge and we took, the refuge vows of, the 5 precepts, including not killing and so forth, and then one of them is not to imbibe intoxicants, not to become intoxicated. And so then after we've taken that vow, then if we get some alcohol and then we drink it and we get drunk, then we've consciously engaged in a negative action. And we kind of knew that because we, had taken a vow. And on the other hand, some people don't take that vow to not imbibe intoxicants, and then they also have alcohol and they also get drunk. And and then there's negative consequences too. And so
negative consequences exactly same, but
right.
two different names.
So the consequences, the negative consequences are the same, but in terms of how conscious we were of the activity, that's a little different.
Well, that is only that ngato tindi ina, tini pena ngato di pena ngato jamru domban rawu shu tindi kengone ta ngato mistake mo chigi yore jamru domba shu na ina yako ti ke ji ta tindi la ya changwar chiwala ngato ta jamne konjo zom na thya ta ke chen bores object ta tangila imba jamne konjo zom thya.
So, for those of us who have taken the refuge vows, then still we make mistakes, a lot of mistakes sometimes. And so that happens. However, once we have taken the vows of refuge, we have the very important essential support of the 3 jewels, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and their refuge that we can utilize in that context.
So also, I think not only that, so I think we are very, I think, negative and positive same, so what is familiar, so the Dharma practice karma imprint. So really, I think very regularly, so remember Buddha Dharma. So that's important, So that is the object of purifying. Tene tega na yike ta nga so jik zo simchen la. Tene mege ba soya de simchen la ta tena so gyor da nga so dis. Pena simchen la tene wa himba jik la tene nga so ji kharse gore hena jik yore. Himba jik la tene chagdo jik yore. Himba jik la tene ji 다 가서 놓자라 소바 지기 요래 딜레 망보 찍라 현 찍라 때네 가서 지기 요래 되게 진리 요 줌센터 때네 다 가서特파 장말 지발라 다 심전에 인지고 무슨네 가서 심전에 인지 듣고 거야 다 개침 버려서
So also in terms of negative actions, a lot of times they are reliant on our relationships related to other sentient beings. Based on our attachments and so forth to beings and our kind of desires, we can give rise to, strong hatred. Based on our attachments and certain, relationships we have with beings, we give rise to jealousy. We give rise to, desire and all these other types of, afflictive emotions and so forth related to sentient beings. And so it's important, though, the way to kind of go beyond that and to purify that type of karma is to instead meditate on having, instead of cultivating afflictive emotions through, our relationship with sentient beings, we should instead meditate on compassion towards sentient beings.
오다 디누트리다 다디 땡지도 송다 땡지도 단단가 저 공슈바나 일을 너지 선바고나 땡지도리 더가나 이게 되네 지 공조송로 잡선도 공조송로 템바들라 되네 땡지도리 되네 지 심전라 참바당 인제 장조선 제비나 되네 다 땡지도 세야 또 당보트 테리스.
So then going back to the four powers, so the first of the four powers is the power of the support. So in this particular context, we have the support of Vajrasattva through doing meditation and recitation of Vajrasattva, then we purify our negative deeds and so forth. So Vajrasattva is the support. Likewise, we, in other Dharma practice, we can use the three jewels, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, as our support. And also, for our Dharma practice, we can even use sentient beings as a support, focusing on our, developing love and compassion, developing compassion towards sentient beings. So these are examples of supports, the power of support in Dharma practice.
That's second karsena neji sunjimbe tops.
The regret model?
Neji sunjimande defeat no. Sunjimasena mebasoya.
Oh, the antidote.
Yeah, sort of antidote, but sunjimba. Yeah, I think we can say the antidote.
So then the second support is the second power is the power of the antidote.
Yeah. And the in the Tambo Tele Karsena, Tigu Yusari, so Dikpasiatela, they struggle with Yusaris, Dikpachiala,
Just drop
Tawomada.
or top, the
No
hard.
worry. No, that's scary.
Oh, drop.
Dikpachiala scary.
So, in the beginning, when we engage in a negative action, for example, the negative action of anger or hatred, it's scary.
Half scary, right? Half scary. Googles.
Oh, we should be scared.
Right.
We should be scared of, having hatred,
Right.
and non-virtues.
All right. So this, I don't know this, what it means, the non-virtues, but Tibetan they call it Degpa, right? Degpa. So the two words, Degpa. So I said that we have to scare, means, the reason I say is, even the name, name is Dikpa, right? So Deg means beating. right? So somebody beating you is scary, just run away. So, yeah, it is like, so if somebody beating you, then we have pain, right? Pain and difficulties. So exactly same, when we have strong afflict emotions, anger, hatred, worry, so we are suffering, we have pain. Actually, this sometimes pain much more than physical pain, right? How heavy, how deep. So somebody beat you, maybe I pain, he beat me here, just lick up a salt and, okay, put ice, Mind is okay, just, or maybe injury or accident, But sometimes the afflict emotions, they're really heavy in the deep pain, and the deep is difficult. So that's why I say we look up scary, not go there, I don't want to pain or difficulties, right? So we understand. So that's. Tini tiga na yita nga so dikpa di I think dikpa nyeji sunjin but there in samari nyembo in samari.
Rated hakos. The regret.
Yeah, the first I think object.
Yeah, sorry. The second power is not antidote. It is regret.
Tiga na yita nga so dikpa di yang tak dikpa di tsabanin sagmens ay te yo mare speak kabores.
Chigime.
Oh, chigme zamna lela wo yo marwa.
So to, in the beginning, to just get to a place where, we're like, okay, now I'm not going to engage in any negative action ever again. That's hard.
That's hard. Not work. Yeah, we said we know with these non-virtues. I said I guess today I can stop, but no, the impossible. But now how to do is like every day you have to confession. Remember, so. Then also the negatives not increasing. So this day by, then it's more increasing. So we know where to know negatives. So for example, you're like anger. I say, I'm not angry, I stop. No way, so so on. So that very important is, so the confession is not specific, but whatever you practice, that is the confession. I think this next, is third one, Lord mentioned the antidote. So how able to purifying the karma. So that is what third that antidote. Nyembo kundu jupi do sta antidote sare.
Kundu chu.
Nyembo kundu jupi do.
So then we need to rely on things like an antidote. So the third power, the first is the power of the support. The second power is the power of having regret or remorse when we have engaged in previous negative actions. And then the third is the power of the activity of the antidote. So there are many different types of antidotes.
Dharma book, study chivata. Maybe I guess English easy. So this is the one first you can, Dharma books, you study, practicing, whatever. So that is one, or you can say one. And the second one, I don't know second one, but you're learning about the emptiness, not nothingness, but you like we're talking about Mahamudra or whatever, this so on. And the third one, or you have to the recitation mantra. And then fourth one is the help to build, temple, stupa, a statue, or kind of like dharma images or tanga, so on. You can, your own you make physically, or you have support, to then make those. And then I think whatever fourth that I don't know, but the offerings. So I think offering like many offerings, right? So whatever you flower offerings, whatever many different offerings. Actually, this very, very important offering is, I think, everything's there. So the what called the 7 bowls or water offerings. So that is very important. So just clean every day. So that's the accumulation method, purifying the karma. So also we offering is like how to pure offering. Because senna, what does it mean? Senna, strangeness or no? Senna. Senna, maybe there are senna. That's what senna.
Oh, senna, greed.
Greed? Okay.
Stinginess.
In greed, mandewa go is chobatela. Senna mandewa go is.
So
chobatela.
These activities, you shouldn't be greedy or stingy.
Right. So good, so that actually you and your temple, you can buy the, really nice flowers every day. That's perfect, that's okay. But how much cost, Every day somebody put these flowers, then say, oh, that's too much, Then your merit is gone, your offering is gone. You already pay for, but so this offering is kind of like pure offering. So the water, kesi chupuvina chuli zache yomaris. Yina yang ko senan deg marwa, otate manta samgu marwa, chunga zo kari kiki yorwa.
So, water offerings are actually really incredible because it's not, really expensive or anything. Outside of Arrakis. No, sorry. The water offerings are, not, it's not expensive or hard to get or anything like that. And so when you give it, it's profound though, because you're not going to, be greedy about it or stingy or feel like, oh, I shouldn't have offered all that water.
So that's, I think, very important. Also, everything's there, so kind of extends that part, or kind of offerings, but this, the 7 bowls, so and just only water, so everything's there, so probably And then, I think, last one is the prostration. So that is very important. So I think I have the text one here. So this, I think first they have, I think the foundation is your prostration is, I think something 10 or something benefits. So who's doing prostration is this sok samboyores, do nyengyewo chagres.
So of the 10 benefits of prostrations, those who do prostrations will have fine bodies, and they will be beautiful and attractive.
How do you believe?
So we know who's doing prostration and who isn't.
Uh,
So we'll know who's doing their prostrations and who isn't.
yeah. That's true, so release the, this body is different, change, And then this, the second is the ni yomaris, muk tonal, making zero yoris. Muk tonal, making zero.
The
second.
So they will be handsome and beautiful to whoever sees them.
So this less the sickness.
And be free from sickness.
Free from sickness, So, and then this third one is the recitation dogres, kiyar dogres.
Okay. Yar.
Yar dogres.
So, the mind of those who do prostrations becomes clear, and their voice improves.
Tene jik karse gor tene jik koran instrument no jik nupan no jik libgres.
So the fourth benefit of doing prostrations is that their strength, their physical strength and power grows.
Tiga na yitene jik ngasoda na human beings ro na anti ladam jik ta no batang yet bang tok maris.
So even like non-human beings, like gods and demons and so forth, they cannot harm such a person.
Tiga na yitene lada so na human being ki rejoicing chigres.
So in that way, non-human beings rejoice.
Like God and so on.
Gods and so forth. The nupamatang te mare.
Nupa mare la imba chigwa. Tene yang konso rejoicing chigwa.
Okay.
God no rejoicing chigre in death so no patang mares.
So gods will rejoice and demons will not be able to harm you.
Tene siji chembo jorwa tang. Tene siji chembo la song so siji chembo yores kar dignity do.
So napa. So then there will be like a great dignity.
Tene sanje tang changjo sembe ki tene ta nye wo tang cho yores chanab yores fog top gres.
The drupa.
Yeah, I think more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7.
Oh, so maybe the fifth was that gods will rejoice and demons won't harm you. Sixth is that you will have dignity, and then the seventh is that you will become closer to the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. Jepa. So then the eighth is that you will become very prosperous and wealthy. So the ninth is that when you take rebirth, you will only be born in the higher realms.
Eventually,
so then the 10th benefit of prostrations is that eventually you will attain the state of Buddhahood.
So are you believe those things? Wow. Wow. Huh? I don't know. They basically have to finish the 100,000. So. But so I think that is. I think I not finished still prostrations. I think there are many. I think great things. So we have time. So yeah, actually amazing those. So of course Dharma, But even though like physically it's changing, they can change. So that depends, so you are physical, how much you can, you can do 3 at least, that is a day, or maybe, morning 3, lunch 3, evening 3, so that is kind of okay, But then up to whatever, 50 a day, 100 a day, or so on. So, but I think this maybe we can talking about a little bit more tomorrow, or how I show you how to postation, how much benefits. Another thing, according to how much purifying, karma. So more details in the postation. What that is to Samalata, and the antidote is.
So these are all, these different practices are including prostrations, the Vajrasattva recitation, and so forth. These are antidotes.
Okay. Yeah, so I think time. So dedication, short dedication.
So
Okay. Page 24 in the prayer book. By the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Drikungpa Ratnashri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you. So we lunch break, and then I'm going to inform.
Спасибо большое за перевод.
Yeah, thank you very much, Drupal Rinpoche, for your teachings on karma, and Eric for your translation, and thank you all for being here. As Rinpoche said, we'll be meeting back here at 2 p.m. for the empowerment, and if you have any questions about registration or anything related to that, you can see Paula. If you'd like to volunteer or give a hand around, please see Jasna right over there. And again, thank you for being here, and we'll see you at 2 o'clock.
I tried to learn it, but it take you monastery where I lived.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your name?
Eric.
Eric.
Nice to meet you, Eric. Are you from around here?
Yeah, I live in St.
Okay.
I spent 3.5 months in Nepal volunteering at a monastery. The monks were going to teach me Tibet. I was
Which
to teach them
monastery?
Kadampa in Buch, north of Kathmandu, not too far. Volunteered speaking the conversation in English to all the lamas. And at night we would sit in the library with a couple of monks. I would try to teach them English. They would try to teach me Tibet. And all the kids took Tibet.
Uh-huh.